Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities and Miniatures. In front of us here we have one of the latest releases from Artel W Miniatures. These three bags are the parts that make the Mekanik of the Iron Horde. Well, specifically the big bag makes the Mekanik, and then these two bags are his mates. So without further ado, why don't we take a look at what's inside these, should you be interested. And you should, because they're really cool looking models. And I can't open them. Okay, there we go. Bags are not my friends today. And for just the Mekanik alone, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 20, at least a good 20-something parts here. And I'll have you know, these are quite the big pants. So yeah, our Mekanik friend here is not going to be regular boy size or knob size even. He's like looking to be a boss himself. Now, are we going to actually need to use all those parts? No. Okay, there are quite a few option parts, and being a Mekanik and being an orc, you're going to have all kinds of optional bits. So you do have the main backpack. I want to say there's at least 2 or 3 head variations. We have with the welding mask. We have the hard hat, which I kind of like. And I thought there was a third one, but I could be wrong. I guess I'm wrong. Okay. There are various contraptions to go on the mechanical arms. I want to say you actually have a couple mechanical arms. There are optional hands, screwdriver, little gun, melting gun. Random wires, random claws, random loincloth, vice grip, or a power hand, claw, whatever you want to call it, a random arm, vents, things, the valve. I mean, there's a whole lot of stuff. There's a couple other tools laying around in here. I was going to say, I thought I saw a tool belt pouch. Yeah, there we go. So there's just a lot going on. I honestly have no idea how this is all going to go together. We'll just stick that over there. But needless to say, it's going to be a really big orc. And if you aren't familiar with Artel W stuff, a lot of them, and especially their newer models, are keyed up really nicely to ensure that you are not a clumsy oaf like me and end up putting things in the wrong spots. Where'd the other head go? I think I like the welding mask. That would be my personal choice. We haven't even got to the mates of his yet. So just a real quick, I mean, he's going to be big when he's on that base. So, something to keep in mind. Let's take a look at the mates as well. Now these are going to be his little squig, snotling, grot, Gretchen, whatever you want to call it, friends here. We have some kind of a cable wire, a teeny tiny pair of legs, a teeny tiny head to go with those legs, teeny tiny body, and then a wrench and another arm to figure out where that goes exactly. And then I think this one is the one that's on the mechanical squig. Pop all those parts out, and yeah. The one eye in very squig-like fashion. I'm not sure how these legs are going to attach, but there is a writing compartment for our grot-like friend to actually sit. He's tiny. And you got all his parts dressed appropriately. The random rockets. I don't know much about orcs. Oh, I guess he's got 2 heads. Kind of cool. So yeah, there's a lot I'm going to have to figure out here, but hopefully the results will be worth it, and we'll show them off to you guys shortly. So that is just an awful lot of resin to play around with. And I guess if you're an Orcs player anyways, whatever you don't end up using here is probably going to make its way into some other model as it is. But let's see what they look like finished. Yep. Alright, well, pardon the change in lighting. We had to move to a different location because we had company coming over. But we've got our Mekanik just about 100% finished here. along with one of his friends, who I'm not sure what happened to his base or where exactly I'm going to put him yet, but he is just a nice little bonus freebie, ready to rock as well. His friend on the squig here, we'll go look at first. He did have an optional head, and he's nice and easily removable, because otherwise there's no way to get to the details inside his little friend there. So I do have a base for him at least. He also had an optional head. He had like a driver's cap. I went with the traditional spiky helmet, because why not? And then there's the mechanic himself. Now, as you can see, I went ahead and gave him the melt-a-gun, and I put the buzzsaw down there because, you know, why not? I mean, I did like the option, and we'll just pick him up here in a sec and go over a couple of things. So I didn't actually glue the backpack on yet. It's actually just attached by this wire and the plug on his back. And what's cool about this wire is it actually plugs into the wrench if you went ahead with that option instead. So it's still going to be used no matter what arm or optional hand you include there. The other wires all just kind of go all over the place, as obvious. I really wish there were a couple of optional bits here for the backpack itself, but everything is pretty much set in stone in that regard. Kept it off just so you can actually see the detail, and it's going to be a little bit easier to paint him with everything out of the way. And he's got those cables there to that propellant tank. You did have to glue the valve onto that. And the more I look at it, you know, I keep thinking, if you really wanted, if you took this backpack off and just green stuffed around it, he probably would make a pretty good stand-in Ogryn as well. I mean, given the size, stature, and the multiple chins there, it totally would work as one. Let's see if I can get it to stay again. And if I can't put the backpack on, that's okay. We'll just show you him with some other models that I have handy. Yeah. Set it to the side for now. So, as I was saying, he's a little bit bigger than your average orc. I definitely would recommend, you know, if you're going to use him as some kind of a big leader model, or like I said, possibly an Ogryn, it might work in that regard. I don't know what size the mech boys are supposed to be on anyways, so you got me on that. I thought a model that was probably comparable in size would be the Creature Caster Orc Forge Lord. You can see here they're pretty good size, both on 50mm basis, and both definitely got that junky tech aesthetic going on there. And they're both pretty comparable in price. Actually, I think the Iron Horde mechanic here is a little bit cheaper, but overall, really cool model, fun options, and I'll be honest, I don't even like orcs, but I just couldn't resist. This guy's got a lot of charm. In fact, most of the Artel W models have a lot of charm. So if you're into that, take a look at their website. They keep running all kinds of specials, so if you don't feel like spending full price right now, I'm sure they'll have a special in the very near future that might tickle your fancy. So give them a look, and hopefully you found this somewhat informative. With that said, this is High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures. Saying thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here soon, hopefully. Whee! Bye-bye.